Energy Manager live stream. Okay, so I haven't played. Oh, look at that. I didn't start all of my factories. Haven't played in like a day or two because the fuel price was too high and $5.99. That's too high. So I didn't refuel all of my plants. Looks like they're still offline. You know, this might be a short live stream. Okay, so I sorted by value. You see 3,340. I sell each one individually because you might earn points by selling energy. So I do each one individually to increase the chance that I might sell points, that I might win points. Get down to 28.51. Going to check the pricing. It says 90 million. Checking to see what the best price is. It says over here 80 million. 28.51. So that's the best price, the one that's listed right here at 28.51. So again, I'm going to sell each one individually, hoping to get points. I need points really bad. It's going to take a long time because I can't buy them. And I want to be able to get hydrogen so I can do some instructional videos about how hydrogen works. $1.3 million. That's the best price I'm going to get. I could have sold that one individually too. So it looks like I sold everything, and oh, there's more. $478, $881, 1.1. I'm going to take the 1.1. It's a pretty good price. 1.47 megawatt. So they haven't fixed the bug yet with the solar panels. 11.67, that's 6 plus 10. I mean, that's way off. $11.67 for a 2.5. Going to check the 2.5. It says max input, says 625. So there's definitely something wrong here. 11.67. It must be the 10 that worked. Well, this one also says 10. Should be 20. Now it says 6, 7, and 10. Yes, I'm guessing that this power plant is not delivering. Oh, there it is. Now it's working. Well, I don't know if these numbers are true. There's obviously bugs in the game. It does happen with software development. The only issue I have is that they've had plenty of time to fix that. And in the forums, they say that they have a developer working on it. I mean, come on. I'm a software developer. It never takes more than an hour to fix a bug. $7.5, 13. $79,000. got a 98 and a 124. I'll take the 124. So that's it for all the energy I'm selling. We got one I'm going to look at, and that is the one with the solar. I'm going to go to here, and there's nothing that's ready to go online. I'm guessing that the fuel price is 5.48, 5.99. There's a video where I spent like 35 million buying fuel. So I'm going to say I'm going to wait for the price to go down. The research is up. There's really very little that's good in here. So like the -1 transformer loss, it's 125 million. That's crazy high. A lot of the training is not worth it. Like for example, 10 barrels per hour. That's such a small amount of money, 10 barrels. Let's say it's worth $5,000. And you got to pay 600,000. That means you got to over 100 times you got to fill up your vessel, over 100 times in order for it to break even. And you know how long it's going to take? It's going to take you 2 years to break even if you purchase this. Someone did a calculation, and he said not only does it not make sense to buy this stuff, but it's impossible to research everything. The amount of time it takes one day, it would take a month just to research this, and it would take a month, maybe not a month for the next one, but it takes so long to do the research that it'll take years for you to complete all the research. So a lot of them are a waste of time, and the stock one is pretty cheap, but it's also useless. Has no benefit. So the research features don't make sense. If you want to join my alliance, it's called AUZZ Power. It looks like we've got the same 4 guys that we've had for a while. Unfortunately, I don't think we have anything ready in the store. He hasn't researched these items, but I would like to buy them, that's for sure. So I got 2 boats. It says that they're anchored. Why doesn't it give me... Oh, it's at capacity. So I'm going to take this one to Bergen, just nearby. It's not far. I don't have enough fuel, so I got to buy some oil. You only have to buy like a really tiny amount. And then you got to redo it. So I'm going to go to Bergen, and I'm going to depart. This guy is full. I'm going to do a route for him. It's kind of far. I started at Oslo. You know what? I'm going to go to Bergen. Well, there is another one down over here. So I will depart. I'm going to show you my fuel. You see, of the 100,000, it used 500 kilograms. So it uses virtually no fuel. See if I miss. Oh, look at that. Well, it was low, but not low enough. I actually got it for less than 22 when I last purchased. But I didn't buy enough. I didn't have enough money. So I only got it down to 85 kilograms. You can see that I have 2 grids because I've been bidding on everything. Just bid the minimum. there's an achievement if you do a bid on a grid that has 20 bids. But the most I've seen is around 5, which is this grid right here. So how are you going to get that achievement? How are you going to get 20 people to bid on a grid? See here, they're not making any money. They really don't pull any money in. They're money losers. But I heard that you can get points by buying grids. And the first time I did it, I did get like 20 points because maybe it's an achievement. But after that, I didn't get anything. To see your achievements, you have to go to your office. A little bit of a pain, because who's going to think to do that? So you got all these achievements, but there's just no way I'm going to get these. You know, join an alliance. I did join an alliance. I didn't get the achievement. Set up 10 or more offices. Too expensive. You're going to lose points doing that. Bid on a grid that has 20 bidders. Nuclear power plant, never going to get that. Buy a nuclear power plant, not going to get that. Expand an office is expensive. And Back to the Future, I don't think anybody knows what that is. But it says DeLorean. I mean, what does that even mean? Is what my layout looks like. I got rid of all of my entry-level power plants. These are all minimum 75 or greater. And I got rid of a lot of the windmills. These grids are kind of full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know why this has 11 and this only 8. I'm really not sure. But this is my new grid that I'm working on because of the subsidy over here. So I am going to be putting, let me check the subsidy here. Putting all my new power plants over there. 39% is actually pretty good. Now you see how it dipped down over here and it went really low? That's probably because the demand was depleted. This has got to be like 44%. I want to buy more solar power, but there is the bug with the solar power where you have to manually turn it on and it doesn't always work. 8% subsidy. So I got some small windmills over here. Wow, they don't even do full power. The big ones probably do. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them do. There's no way that I just bought all of these. I mean, come on, that's crazy. I did not just buy these. This is for 2020, 140, 140. I've had these for a long time. Yeah, they're doing something a little goofy here. So I'm going to sell these 4 windmills. And I'm going to sell these. These I am moving over to the other location because there's more wind power. See, it's only 5.8. If I come over here, I usually see better numbers, 8.9. Over here, the numbers are pretty good, 10.7. And over here on Long Island, I used to live on Long Island, 10.4, 10.14. And you know what? These are a lot of small ones, so I'm going to have to upgrade these also. This is doing better than some of the other ones did. And you see that this one is consistently getting the max wind power because I went through and I was very careful to get one that will operate even when there's less wind. And I guess this one doesn't have anything. So we got some that we could bring online. It's going to be a half an hour before the fuel price is going to change, and it's too expensive right now. I'm going to sell these, they're not being used. So if you have the cell phone, the mobile version, supposedly you can earn points every day. They have different options for like watching videos. You don't have that on the PC version. So unfortunately we're stuck. We can't get points, and I go a long time without getting any points, and I'm desperate for points. I had to spend some to increase my fuel capacity because it just takes way too long to refuel. It takes a half an hour. Every time I refuel, it takes me a half an hour to do it. So I had to increase my fuel capacity. There's nothing to see there. I'm going to look up the price of some windmills. 8 million. 4 meters per second is enough, and the nominal is good. So both of those numbers are pretty good. This one up here, the 2 megawatt, is really good. 11 millisecond for the nominal. I'm probably going to buy the big one, and then when the stock runs out, I'm going to move to the next one down, and then the next one down. Going to be honest, windmills really are a little bit of a waste because one of the small power plants, these are big power plants. One of the small power plants is better than all the windmills. So let's say a windmill is 2.5 times 100 is 250. Divided in half is 125. That means the maximum you can do is 125 if you do all the best windmills. 125. You could get one power plant. This one's a 150. This power plant can produce more than if you get 50 of the best windmills. One power plant. That's why windmills are, they're fun to play with in the beginning, but if you want to make the serious cash and be able to buy the big power plants and the offshore drilling, you're going to need the cash to do that. You're going to have to run the big power plants. And I got a lot of cash. It's 153 million right now. And it is from running the large power plants. Once you get that first large power plant, the 75 I think it is, you're on the road to making lots of money. Before that, it's going to be slow. Once you can afford to buy the 75, things are going to speed up a lot more quickly because you're going to be making millions upon millions every day with that 75, especially if you've got a big storage unit. You see, I've got a 500. I'm pretty sure that I was planning on selling that. I want to take these values and put them in my forum. I'm going to do it right now. So in the discussion forum, cheapbooks.cc, I have information about playing the game. One of the things that I do is I post some of the statistics. So, it didn't, it didn't print the screen. It's all gibberish. So I got to do it again. Okay. So now that I'm doing this, you can go and look at the size of the storage unit and you can see how much money I made, like 1.8 million. So I'm going to save this. It is going to be discharge 500B. I'm going to go to my discussion forum. So you go to cheapbooks.cc and then you go to you go right here and you go to business management and then you go to energy manager and you see discharge history. This is where I put, you can see this one's all 500. This one's all 500. And I'm going to put the new one that I just saved. Looking for the folder for Energy Manager and then stats. It's 500B. I'm going to place it in line. So now you can go to the forum and you can decide, well, if you buy the one with a 500 size capacity, you can see an estimate for how much money you're going to make for each of these capacities. And I also put tips down, which I'm going to use in future videos. You can see what if there's anything here. I'm going to add, it's been a month and a half. Large storage units can generate a lot of revenue with smaller power plants if you let them run for long time periods. When storage units are full, they reach their maximum income. Okay, so now I'm going to sell this, and now it's gone. Okay, so basically, it was a small storage unit, number one. Number two, there's a lower subsidy on this grid. This is the first grid I started building in. So I'm not going to build there anymore anyway. And this is probably the new, no, it's probably not the new storage unit. I think this is a new one over here for this power plant. To move it into the grid that has the high subsidy. These two have 44% subsidy. This one's maybe 39%. This is the city where I grew up in. And you don't want to put the power plants in the grid with the high subsidy. You want to put them in the neighboring grids because you want as many storage units in there as possible. Because I reached the maximum, I'm now moving them down to this grid, which also has a high subsidy, and I'm building the power plants over here. So this is like Westchester County or Rockland or something like that. So right now I have another 25 minutes before the fuel prices change. And I know you don't want me to wait through this boring time. So we'll check on the boats. You can see that it's 1 hour for each of them to get there, the cheap books and the cheap books 2. I guess you can't see them while they're en route. They're way over here. There they are. You see there's one on top of the other. So I decided to get the smaller ones, and the reason why is because I want to do a nice instructional video. It's very complicated with all the different features involved with drilling. It's a little bit complicated. You pick a port, you go to the oil rig, you do a scan. When it finishes the scan, if you find something, it starts drilling. If it doesn't, it sits idle. And it takes like 5 days to drill. I don't know if it can be done quicker drilling, but so far I've been getting 5 days because of my scan area. And then you take it back to port and you either transfer it to your reserves for your power plants or you sell it. Obviously, if the price is high, you're going to sell it. And if the price is low, you're going to transfer it. So basically, I would go to my Energy Manager forum. If you don't mind, I'm going to make a little bit of an adjustment. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to go to Energy Manager. I'm going to go to Units, Production, Drilling. These are the 3 ships that are available. You see it's 290 million. A little bit of information here. Okay, so I am going to go to my forum. I'm going to do a new topic. And okay, so buy an oil drilling ship from the Units Production menu. So that is over here. We go into Units, we go to Production Units, and you go to Drilling. Then I'm going to hit Print Screen. I am going to paste it into the browser. And I will save it on the hard drive. This is going to be called Drilling Purchase. I'm going to go to the forum. This has to come down. I put the text below the images. And go to Attachments. And I'm going to look for Drilling. Right here. Place in line. Submit. Okay, so you do that, and You choose the port. Choose the port for ship delivery, for initial ship delivery. Unfortunately, because I'm on route back to port, I'm not going to be able to grab all the images. I'm just going to work on it later when I can do all the steps properly. So it's going to take an hour to get back at the port, and then I will send them back out to drill again, same location, and I will continue working on the guide. But now you can see the steps that I use when I work on it. And obviously I could do the same thing for everything else. So highest price for electricity. This is selling 2,400. Obviously I've gotten much higher. This is 2,900. The highest I've gotten is like 3,184. And fuel prices, $6 even was the best price that I got. I'm sorry, the highest price. The lowest price that I got was $1. So that's just some information that you can use. This gives a little bit about cross-grid discharging. I'm going to update it because obviously I have more complex grids now. And it looks like only one of them's ready. So I'm going to grab this one here. And I am cropping it, and I'm going to save the image. It'll be cross grid discharging 2, and then I'm going to, I hit the wrong button. I'm going to insert it over here as an attachment. There it is. So now we have another example of cross-grid discharging, and I'm going to write some tips over here. So number one, cross-grid discharging can be purchased using points. Cross-grid discharging allows you to sell electricity to neighboring grids and take advantage of their subsidies and higher pricing. The amount you receive is listed in dollars for each grid. The amount is already discounted 10% for the cross-grid discharge fee. The electricity rate shown per grid is the full price before the 10% fee. The rate being the value on the left. Or in the middle. It's got a rate. That's before the 10% fee, and on the right is after the fee. So you go by the number on the right. Obviously, you can cross grid to another country. You have to have a storage unit in the grids you wish to discharge to. You only discharge to one grid per sale, and you should buy the cheapest concrete storage for empty grids that you use solely for cross-grid discharging. You see on my map I've got all these empty grids. All of these empty grids have the concrete storage, and it's just there to take advantage of the cross-grid discharging. So over here you can see energy sales. You can see some examples of how much money I brought in. The big ones are down here on the bottom. In 12 minutes, we're going to get the price change. I am going to make a copy of this because it's useful. I'm going to call it empty grids. And I'm going to go to the forum. Do an attachment with empty grids. Empty grids have small, cheap concrete storage units for the sole purpose of being available for cross-grid discharging from other grids. I thought I was live streaming, but I'm not live streaming. I'm just doing a regular recording. So I guess that kind of sucks. Okay, so this is just going to be a regular gameplay video. I'm not going to go through all the stuff about live streaming, and I'm just going to book this as a gameplay video, and I'm going to call it quits right now.